God did not save you by the power of the Holy Spirit in order to usher you into death so he can slide you into heaven someday. Christianity is not about how fast can you die and make it home. Christianity is about life and life more abundant. Jesus said, I have come that you might have life and that you might only have a little bit of it because it's so bad, so hard, and so tough that I'm going to take it from you really, really fast so you make it home before you backslide. John 10:10. Very long verse. You got to dig into the Greek to find that. No, he didn't say that. He said the thief comes to steal, to kill, to destroy. And you go, yeah, that's the devil. I've heard this. How many of you have heard this? That's the devil's out to steal, kill, and destroy. Jesus never, go read John 10 when you go home. He never mentions the devil. Jesus said, I am the door. And any man that comes in to the Father any other way than through the door, that man's a thief and a robber. And he said, every man who has ever came before me is a thief and a robber. But I've come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundant. He never mentioned the devil. He mentioned all of the power of the fleshly commandments that have been laid in front of you, to rob you of the joy that is yours in knowing Jesus. Isn't that amazing? Jesus said, I've come that you might have life, that you might have that life more abundant, that you can have that life springing up inside of you. So when you see Jesus, watch Jesus move. Watch how he moves through the planet. Watch how he interacts with people. Does Jesus move as a man who is every day concerned with keeping the law of fleshly commandments, or a man who every day is concerned with operating in the power of an endless life? And this is the choice you have to make in life. You see, it's easy to operate yourself under the power of fleshly commandments. I didn't say you were good at them. I didn't say they will change you, but it's easy to go find a few things you think you ought to do and then do your best. We'll fail, but it's easy to find them. But living the power of an endless life, we have to listen to the Holy Spirit on how to do this. We have to be willing to understand that the Father doesn't freak out when we fail. The Father is just drawing us into His presence through the power of an endless life. And everywhere Jesus went, He oozed life. Jesus was speaking life into dead people. This is why we opened with that illustration of the hands. Jesus was always trying to find a way to touch the untouchable. You see, what you need is not more effort. What you need is the power of His endless life, charging and fueling you each and every day. The law of fleshly commandments has come out like this a lot of times in the church too. I don't know, maybe you got into this. Maybe you're reading this right now. It's on your coffee table. I'll leave that between you and the Lord. But we all really for about 10, 15 years ago got real obsessed with being driven by purpose in the church. It was how we were going to build our churches. It was how we were going to build our youth groups. It was how we were going to save our marriages. People who were driven by having a purpose. I think from the very outset, and I'm not throwing any stones, but I think from the very outset it missed the heart of God. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the Father never stands behind His people, driving them. Shepherds don't, this isn't a cattle drive. He didn't call you a cow. He called you a sheep. I watched a show the other day on shepherds and sheep, and the shepherd walked into the field, and all of the sheep ran over to him. He didn't say a word. He didn't make a noise. He didn't blow a horn. He didn't do anything. They were so used to what he looked like and what he smelled like that the second he got out of his truck and walked over to them, all of the sheep went. He could move, and it was just this mass of sheep moving around him that just stayed right next to his legs. Wherever he went, they went. There's this big white body moving in the field. It was pretty incredible to watch. It was pretty incredible to see, and I was amazed that the shepherd never has to go drive the sheep. He never has to get back behind them and slap them with the rod because the sheep are just naturally drawn to him. I think we've had this idea of God for so long that He's driving me to do, He's driving me to be better. And the reality is that your Father is sitting in a posture of rest. He's been sitting down since the day you met Him. And all He's been doing is saying, come to me. Just, what'd Jesus say? Come to me. All you that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll what? I'll give you rest. I won't even make you pay for it. We miss that sometime. I'll give it to you. Come to me. Not go for me. Come to me. and I will give you rest. So you've been going your whole life in ministry. I just want you to come to me, and I will give you rest. So I'm not trying to cut down a book or an ideology, but I think we miss the heart of God when we think God, we're driven. We're not driven, we're drawn. We have the power of an endless life. The power of an endless life pulls us towards the heart of the Father. Remember what I said last night when Jesus sits down to eat with Peter on the beach and he says, Peter, do you love me? Feed my sheep? Not, Peter, if you want to prove to me that you love me, go feed my sheep. No, that would be drive Peter. It's, Peter, do you love me? Yes. Let that draw you to the sheep. Amen. That'll pull you to the sheep, because when you think about loving me, you're going to think about me loving you. That's going to pull you to the sheep. This is the power of an endless life.